Good morning everyone, welcome back to Four Wheeling in New South Wales. Thanks for tuning into another video. New viewers, please feel free to check out our playlist, there's plenty of videos there. And my regular viewers, thanks as always for the continued support, I really appreciate it. So, what am I up to this morning? Well, I thought I'd head out before it starts to rain again, as we've had a lot in Sydney in the last few weeks, and share a couple of products with you which may just help with your travelling and touring lifestyle to be that little bit easier when it comes time to cooking up meals. The products are put out by a company called Damo. Really interesting backstory. So they're an Australian-owned company, family-owned company, which I always love to support. It started off when Damien and his wife Lynn wanted to do a bit more touring, and cooking meals was as simple as an LP gas bottle, like a barbecue gas bottle, with a burner on top and a pan. Lynn wanted to have some sort of oven that they could cook meals in, so Damien flipped a cake tin on its lid and that became the cover, and that evolved into the product that we have here today in this bottom box. So as I said, the company's headed up by Damien, his wife Lynn, their daughter Hayley and son-in-law Wilson. So it's a good family run business, and as I said, it evolved from a basic camp setup into an awesome product that we see here today. So without further ado, I'll crack these boxes open and I'll show you what's in them. Please, while I do that, if you wouldn't mind, just hit subscribe. It helps the channel grow and helps me bring more content. And let's get into it. All right, so these are the two items. This top one is what really intrigued me to wander over and check out their stall. It's the Daymo Adventure-Q bush kettle. Awesome bit of gear, I really love this. As I said, it's so cool the way it works. I'll probably do that in a separate video just to keep this clip short. The main big bad boy in this box. So this is the Daymo Adventure-Q Ultimate Pack. This is brilliant, absolutely unreal, this cooker. All right, so in the box, the Adventure-Q Ultimate Pack Barbecue. Brilliant bit of gear. And what I'll do in a moment, I will actually fire this up and we'll get cooking on it. Great bit of gear, really like this. That is the cooker. It's got a little lid on it, a bit like a, I'm not sure, Weber Q type hooded barbecue. Vents on the side so you can control heat and steam. A couple little holes on the side there as well. Inside we've got a glass lid, which feels quite weighty, so it's good quality materials used throughout. Nice heavy lid. That way you can keep the oil splattered down if you are cooking inside a caravan or something like that with the lid on. Now this is really cool. So Damien was telling me that it started out with just the pan and obviously the lid and evolved from that. His wife Lynn said she'd love some way of being able to steam vegetables. So he came up with this little steamer which sits down in the pan like so. And then obviously you can put veggies on the top, water in the bottom, and you're cooking your vegetables without losing a lot of that nutritional goodness and value from them. Obviously the lid goes on top like so, and you've got a steaming oven essentially. If you want to, you can take that out, use it as a standard fry pan, obviously put your lid back on, and then you've got an oven. And then also in the storage bag that comes with it is a little bag that you can actually put the entire oven inside of. So if you wanted to use it daily and not have to drag that big bag out, I guess that would come in handy sliding in and out of your caravan cupboards or drawers in your four-wheel drive, etc. They come with a couple of little accessories as well, so a little silicone pair of tongs and a silicone spatula so you don't scratch the pot itself. And then one really good feature with it is they come with these two little silicone handles as well. So if you are cooking on a gas stove or induction, because you can use all types of cooking for this, so induction and gas, etc., electric cooker, you can then transfer that into your oven if you are doing slow cooked meat or something like that and you want to put it into the oven. The little silicone handles just push onto the sides, and that allows you obviously to pick that up off your heat source out of the oven without burning your hands. You don't need a separate glove. So really good idea. They've kind of thought of everything with this system. Now what I'll do, I did bring some bacon and eggs with me. I'll fire it up. The pan itself, you can tell from the weight of the pan that it is good quality material. It's quite thick walled and thick base. It's got the rib bottom as well. So I would think, I'm not a professional chef, my way of thinking though, that would help minimise things sticking to the bottom of a traditional pan and therefore burning. Obviously if you're cooking sausages and steak, that sort of thing, that would also help with keeping the oil and grease at bay. It would tend to sit in the bottom of the pan, and I would imagine that would assist with healthier cooking as well. Well, that's my thoughts on it. But yeah, I'll fire it up. No doubt, being thicker pan, I've got a little gas cooker here, so I'll probably have to heat that pan up nice and warm before I start cooking in it. So let's get into some cooking and we'll show you how this thing goes. Let's move those tools out of the way, get my cooker out. Hopefully we don't get too much wind, because these gas cookers are great, but they don't like a lot of strong wind. Right, so that's on. Now while that is cooking, I'll just put an overlay up of the chat that I had with Damien at the show, and it'll give you a better understanding of the background and how this product exactly came about. After I finish cooking, I will open up the Adventure-Q bush kettle and give you a quick sneak peek at that one as well. That is really cool. As I said, that's what grabbed my eye initially. Now it's also a non-stick pan, so the bacon and egg should literally just slide straight out of it once they're cooked. So we'll give it a whirl. And spatula. Yeah, that's heating up fairly quick now. It's getting nice and hot. I'm not going to put any oil in there, I'll just try it straight. All right, that's nice and warm. Let's see how this bacon goes. Now the bacon is a little bit frozen. Oh yeah, we've got some sizzle there. So she's nice and hot. That was maybe 2-3 minutes just to preheat the pan. As I said, this bacon was frozen too, so got a bit of ice on it actually.
Well, hi guys, it's Damo, and I'm here to tell you a bit about how the Damo story, how it began and where it came from and where we are today. So basically we were in the outback many years ago in the COVID times, and I had a very big heavy barbecue that I took travelling with me all around Australia, and I decided to shrink it down into a small one. And I started with this one, a little basic fry pan with a lid. Got the lid out, cut it down with an angle grinder, made a little beautiful, very expensive cable tie lid. It cost me about 10 cents. And I was very happy cooking my steaks on there, and it cooks a very fine steak. You know, you got high temperature, and it had the kettle effect. And one of the nearby campers came over and said, "What's that, Damien?" I said, "That is the world's smallest bush kettle barbecue." And he said, "That's amazing." And I said, "I don't have to take my big one with me anymore. I can just use this. And I'm sick of cleaning my big one anyway, so this is much easier." So he said, "Chip, that's a good idea." He said, "I wouldn't mind one." I said, "Well, maybe I could make one." So after we got home, I said to my darling wife, I said, "Let's try and take this base, make a base." We needed to make the actual base plate. So how can we improve that? So we lifted the sides up a bit so it wouldn't spatter. We made it lightweight. We put 2 handles on the side instead of the handle at the back here, which moves around. And we did something very clever. We put a stainless steel base plate, so it works on the old Primus, works on the Gasmate type barbecue, it works on the induction top, and it of course works on the electricity. So it'll work when you're camping out in the bush, and it'll work on your kitchen stove at home. So, and then we looked at covering it with a non-stick surface. So we went to a German engineering company and found this beautiful coating, which is high grade, food quality, very, very safe, what commonly used in some of the best products that are non-stick. I'm sure once you come to clean it, you'll realise just how easy it is to clean. Even an egg, fried egg, won't stick to that, believe it or not. So then we needed to go on and work with the lid. My wife said, "That is the most ridiculous lid. You can't sell that. Nobody will want to buy that." So I looked across and saw my 6-year-old grandson, and he had this lovely little plastic barbecue sitting there. So I looked at that and I thought, well, I can't improve that much. I looked at my big barbecue on the front deck and I thought, all I need to do is shrink it down. They've spent millions of dollars researching these lids. They've put little holes in certain places, and they put a little lovely vent to adjust the smokiness of your barbecue. So all I need to do is shrink that down. No improvements there. Solid, oven proof, Bakelite lid, can go in an oven and it'll survive the heat. So then I said, have I finished yet? She said, no, darling. She said, you can do better than that. She said, I love, you know how I love my steamed barramundi and my snow peas. She said, if you make me a stainless steel steaming rack to go in your lovely barbecue, you can put 5 cups of water in there, make me a steaming rack, put your lovely little non-stick heavy duty heat resistant feet on it. We can pop that in a tray like that, put our barbecue lid on and steam to your heart's content, and I can have steamed fish with steamed snow peas and squash. I can just steam some vegetables, or we do like a bit of Chinese from time to time, the gaoji's and the ha gao and the char sui and the steamed Chinese vegetables. Dim sums go on there, and we have a Chinese night once or twice a week. So the barbecue has now become from a grill and a barbecue to a steamer. And I said, that's wonderful, darling, what a great idea that is. She said, I do burn my hands when I pick it up and move it around. She said, can you please make me some silicone heat resistant handles so that they clip on so I can pick it up and move it around? So I said, darling, for you I can do that, no problem at all. And she said, while you're at the silicone shop, get me some utensils. Well, won't damage that lovely surface you've got there, which has got a 30-year guarantee, and it won't mark up or scratch the surface, so you can look after that. And I said, beauty, babe, am I finished yet? Can I have that beer? And she said, no, darling, there's a bit more for you to do. I got, oh, babe. She said, do you realise that with this little barbecue, which is growing in uses and versatility, she said, if you get me a heat-resistant lid, glass, it'll go in an oven, put a heat-resistant cap on it. She said, make it fit nice and snugly. You've got a casserole dish. You can cook musselman curries, you can cook beef stroganoff, you can cook chicken cacciatore, you can cook any old stew or casserole. You can even make a pea and ham soup in there. She said, that whole unit's got to be able to go in the oven. It's got to be able to be used on your stovetop, at home, or in the bush. So that handle, that glass lid, will become very valuable as we go further and further into the bush and cooking some exciting and interesting meals in the outback. Then she said, I said, am I finished yet? And she said, no. She said, no, you know how I like to pack everything small. Can you please make me a bag to put it all in? And I said, yeah. So I made her this beautiful drawstring carry bag, which holds it nicely. And she said, that's nice, Damien, but we go outback. We really go where the crows fly backwards and the red dust flies. She said, can you make me one, but make it heavy duty canvas, put a lining in it so the red dirt and the dust doesn't get in, put a really good set of zippers on it, double zippers, so that it's easy to use in tough and outback conditions, put a couple of handles on it so we can carry it. I said, babe, done. So we made this beautiful carry bag that now comes with the ultimate barbecue. So then she said, I said, am I finished now, babe? And she said, yep, that's pretty good. You've only got one job to do now, and that's to go out to the caravan, grab the old big barbecue that we've got that you love so much, bring it inside, put it on the front deck where the kids can use it, and when the kids come over, take it out, take the 5 kilo gas cylinder out as well, reduce our tow ball weight by 25 kgs, and while you're there, grab our old bamboo steaming rack that you do our gaoji's and our dim sums. We don't need that anymore, we can use the Damo. Grab the wok that you use to do the stir fries and bring that inside. We don't need that anymore. And also, because we've now got that lovely induction thing, that's this new high technology that's come along, bring out the slow cooker, because we don't need that anymore. So we can replace all that stuff you're bringing out of the van with just our basic little Damo bag, and off you go. So when we come home from camping in the outback, after 2 or 3 months out there, and I go and park my van up, I park it up in a private storage facility because we haven't got enough room at home. So when I park it up, as I'm parking it up and driving it off to put it in storage for a few months till our next trip, she says, make sure you bring the Damo with you, because we actually use the Damo more at home than we do in the outback. We use it to cook steaks on our kitchen stove. We cook our dim sum on a Friday or Saturday night at home, just like we would do in the outback. And that is basically the story of the Damo, how it came, how it evolved, and where it is today. And hope you get one. They're a lot of fun. Thanks a lot.
And this is where the little silicone handles come in handy. Like that, you can pop those on like that. Check your fire underneath, and it gives you something to sort of hold on to when you are cracking eggs. Now some people might think the grooves are going to present an issue when you are cooking things like eggs, but if it cooks down in the bottom of the groove, I don't see a problem with that myself. I think it'll just cook them evenly anyway, and being non-slip, you'll be able to turn it out of there. All right, our second egg. Bit of rubbish. Make sure we take that home. Don't leave it in the bush. I'll just pop that bacon back in. Spin those around so you can see them. I reckon that is done. So let's get this out, have some breakfast, and then I'll show you this Adventure-Q kettle, eh? There's our bacon, still steaming hot. Our eggs. Yeah, look at that. That just literally just lifts out. Not one bit stuck in the pan. That is so good. And that's the thing, when you are camping, you often have a limited water source or supply, so you don't want to have to waste water trying to wash things up that are difficult to clean. Wow, look at that. All right. Now those handles, yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend leaving those handles on all the time as I did, because they do get quite warm. But if you were going to transfer this now into an oven, obviously you just slip them on, pop them in the oven and take the handles off. That's how I'd do it anyway. But yeah, great little add-on feature, the silicone handles. So we'll put them there. I'm going to sit down and enjoy this bacon and eggs. Now look at that, folks, for a bush breakfast, eh? How good's that? Eggs sunny side up. Beautiful. Chili. That's so yum. Those eggs are cooked to perfection. Oh, look at that. Runny yolk, no burn. Oh, so good. Oh, that's good.
A few minutes later.
Alrighty, folks, so that was, honestly, I reckon the best bacon and eggs I've had in some time. The eggs were just cooked to perfection. Runny yolks, I didn't flip them over because I do like a bit of the sunny side up. But yeah, just cooked to perfection. As you saw, slid straight out of the pan. No problem with it sticking. Really impressed with that. So yeah, just to recap, you've got your steamer. So if you did want to steam vegetables or even fish, you can steam fish on there. That just sits down inside there and it stores in there when you're not using it. I won't put it back in now because it'll get obviously grease all over it. But I'll leave that out till I get home. You've got your lid, so you can use it as a fry pan like normal. And then you've got your oven lid, so you could cook full meals. At the show they had lamb shanks going on these and it looks so yum. They were handing it out for people to try. Works a treat. You've got your little air vent control vent there on the lid. So yeah, fantastic bit of gear that. Really impressed with it. Cooked really easily. I will give that a wipe out with some baby wipes now, but there's not much in the bottom of that pan. But I'll give it a wipe out just so not greasy in the car. And get that packed away. And then I'll show you the Adventure-Q bush kettle. Our faithful baby wipes. These are a treat when you are camping. Baby wipes work on a lot of things. Well worth having a packet in your camp kit. Just give that a quick wipe out. That has cooled down quite quickly too, so I sat down for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes and ate my bacon and eggs, but this is pretty much cold now, this pan. You can put your hand on it, so it cools quick enough that you can clean it out fairly soon after you've cooked. As you can see, that's just a baby wipe, and that's just wiping straight out. There's no hard scrubbing. I don't have a pot scour or anything in there. That's just a baby wipe, and you can see there it's coming off really easily. Let's give that a tip out. There you go, look at that. That's as clean as a whistle. I'll give that a proper wash up when I get home, but you can see there it's come up really easily, nice and clean, nothing stuck in the pan. So yeah, it's really good coating. The only feedback I guess I would have overall would be my way of thinking, and I haven't cooked anything in it yet that would necessitate this, but from a thinking ahead idea, if you were to cook something in there that had a lot of beautiful sauce or juice, something like steak Diane or beef stroganoff, and you've got a lot of really nice flavours in there and you want to tip it out, the only thing I could see is when you try and tip that way holding the handles, the ribs are going to be there horizontally, where if they ran vertically the way it is at the moment, I could see it being easy to tip that sauce and juice out, because you could obviously tilt your pan and the sauce would run down that way and it's a bit easier. Whereas if you're holding it that way and you're trying to tip sauce out, especially if you've got the silicone handle, you don't want the handle getting in the way of the sauce. That's my only thing. Whether they would change that design, I'm not sure, but I honestly think that is probably one of the best bits of camp gear that I've seen on the market today. I said you got your little lid so you can cook meat, do a full roast, got your control vent, just fantastic. Such a simple idea, but a great idea. So I'm going to pack it up and we'll grab that kettle out. So this kettle is what really intrigued me over to the Daymo stand at the show. So cool, I really love this. Something different to anything else I've seen on the market. And I will show you what it is. So it's a food grade stainless steel kettle, holds a litre of water, which is roughly 4 to 5 cups. It's got a little timber handle, safe touch handle, so you can pick it up once it is hot and boiling. And then it has this little collar section on the bottom. Comes with a storage bag as well, which I'll get out in a sec. But this little collar, that essentially sits down over your heat source, and then the kettle sits down into it. Now, you might be thinking that's nothing out of the norm or nothing different to most kettles, but the key benefit to this kettle is this hole that goes through the center. So it's essentially like a twin wall insulated cup. The water actually sits inside this cavity, and the heat rising up through the center helps to boil the water faster. So you can use things like sticks, pine cones, leaves, anything you like to get that heat source going, and this will boil it. It's so cool. Comes with a little storage bag as well. So it's just like a cotton bag with a drawstring for your kettle and base to sit down inside. Really impressed with it. And a huge shout out to Damo too. They've sent me down both these bits of gear. They're based up near Newcastle in New South Wales. They ship Australia wide. I really love this kettle. This is what caught my eye at the show and got me over chatting to them. I kept in contact with Hayley after the event at the caravan show, and she was happy to send me down both items to test, try out, do a video on. I do offer always to send product back, full disclaimer. I'm not in this just to get free products, a garage full of stuff that I'll never use, but they are a great bit of gear. I really like them. I did offer to send these back. Hayley said, hang on to them for as long as I want, give them a really good test out. I do have a trip coming up about 3 weeks time, end of September. So I am going to give them a really good test out over the 3 days. I am keen to try out the cooker with the lid on it, so do a nice curry or something like that. So yeah, I'll be sure to get some footage on that as well and share my feedback. But if you are interested, check out their website. I'll put the links below. Great Aussie family company. Get behind them, check out their gear. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate the support. If you have got any questions, please feel free, put them in the comments below or send me an email via my website. All the details are linked below, as are Damo's website. So I'm going to fire this bad boy up, make a coffee, and then get out of here because it is getting quite warm. Remember folks, just get out and enjoy. It doesn't matter what vehicle you have or don't have. You've got to just get out, enjoy the great outdoors with family and loved ones. As we always say, stress less, camp more, look after yourselves, and we'll catch you on the tracks. Cheers.